So spiritual knowledge, three things we talked about: Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Now in satsang, this is called actually satsang in Sanskrit. Sat means eternal. Sat and who's eternal? Who never changes, who never comes under illusion is God. So Sat, the other word for Sat is God. Sang means what? I'll not ask you this question I asked, but Sang means not meeting. Sang means association. What type of association? In Sanskrit, this word Sang actually means the association which impresses you. When you have bad association, when you meet a bad person, meeting will not destroy you. But if you associate with a bad person, it will destroy you. Why? In association, actually, Sang means that you are impressed by that person. So when you get impressed by his acts, you will try to inculcate those acts in you. Right or wrong? So in your business or your work, you will meet many people. But don't do Sang with them. Just meet them. Don't be impressed by their bad qualities. And that's what happens when you are young. That's why we say, don't keep bad association, because they'll get impressed. Happened with all of us. How did people start smoking? Seeing others. Then how did we start drinking? Alcohol. I still remember, hey, bachcha hai tu, doodh pita hai, pupsi le. That's how it starts. So that is how basically bad association affects. So when you inculcate, no, not doing this is great, then what happens? The child feels, yes, I am doing something great. So in satsang, what happens? You associate, right? So in satsang, three things should happen. If you actually have come to a satsang, because people I meet, they say, oh, we have gone to many satsangs. Oh man, a great person. Manika, did you go for association or did you go for a meeting? So what do you mean by that? Hindi I say, milne gaye the ya sang karne gaye the? What do you mean? Manika, three things should happen in satsang. First, when you hear knowledge, your doubts should be removed. One. Number two, what happens? When doubts are removed, what happens? Faith is established. And number three, when faith is established, life should change. Right or wrong? When you take knowledge, doubts are destroyed, by which faith is developed. When the faith is developed, life will change. If it does not, if nothing happens, that means you went to meet. That will not. So I jokingly say this, that the Lord actually goes up. So Tarun came, yes. Attendance P, but with a pencil. He goes out, he's forgotten everything. Hey, get me a rubber. He didn't come for satsang. That's why we keep question answers in the end also. Every day. Doubt should be cleared. Otherwise, what will happen? Your coming here will become a waste. Now that is how you should take this knowledge now. Okay? Vedas mean, remember one thing, all the four Vedas, Puranas, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, it includes, people sometimes think that Puranas are not included in Vedas. But try to understand one thing, that after Vyasadeva is the person who divided the Vedas into four. After dividing the Vedas into four, he still had 1 billion verses left. So then he put those billion verses into Puranas. Now what is the difference between Puranas and Vedas? Vedas are like law books and Puranas are like law journal. Now you understood what is the difference between law book and law journal? Law book states that this is the law and law journal states the case histories. If you follow the ones who followed the law, this is what happened. The ones who did not follow the law, this is what happened. So when you study law, there are two books, law books and law journals. Journals are the case study. Constitution does not give you the case studies. Constitution does not give you case studies. In the same way, the Vedas only give you laws. Whereas the Puranas give you the case histories. That's why you have all these Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and Itihas, history. Ramayana is history, Mahabharata is history. And Purana also means Purna. It completes the Vedas. The law books are completed by the law journals. The lawyers in court of law also quote the law journals. Do they do that or not? This was the Supreme Court actually said this. This was the decision by the Supreme Court. That means that is how this law should be interpreted. Right? So that is why Vedas and Puranas. Now Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. Remind it. It is also known as Gita Upanishad. Gita, the Upanishads are actually the philosophical part of the Vedas. Are the philosophical part of the Vedas, the knowledge part of the Vedas, and that all knowledge is basically in the Bhagavad Gita. You will not find any case history in this. Do you find any case history in this? No. You find what is the law, how should it be applied. That's what is there in this. Now case history, the best book on first case history, the Mahapuran is known as Bhagavat. Srimad Bhagavat is known as Mahapuran. Now this is known as milk and that is known as fruit. If Vedic tree is considered a fruit, then it states that the Bhagavatam is the fruit and Vedas are the tree. Now when you are a child, what are you fed with? Fruit or milk? Milk. So first you should drink this milk, a Bhagavad Gita. Become strong and then take the Bhagavatam fruit. But what happens today? I find everywhere Bhagavat Sapta. They do not know the basics and they're jumping into the... They have not been born into spirituality. They have not taken that milk to become strong enough to understand. What happens if you feed a child with fruit? It will die. That's why spiritual life dies.